I guess the challenging part of transitioning to virtual programs is just the kind of pushback people have that, you're supposed to be just be organizing travel, like how is study abroad supposed to work in a virtual platform? Um, so there's a lot of questions from other, colleagues on campus about how in the world this would work. So we had to provide pretty detailed information, kind of outlining, this is what we have planned. These are the people that we have lined up, that Roman lined up for us. These are their backgrounds, just kind of justifying the contact hours and all of that. And then once people know more information, they're generally very interested and support it. Months into it, one of kind of my boss's bosses asked me to make sure I put on there that no travel required. Like people were still like, so where are we going? I'm like, it's virtual.
Yeah.
So we're going places, but you're not actually traveling. Like your Zoom meetings. So that for me was kind of funny that some people just kind of miss the virtual. Most of the students visiting our webpage are interested in traveling.
Yeah.
So they're not going to come to look at our options when there's no travel involved.
Mhm.
So it was once the spring registration started that students saw the course in the catalog, or not catalog, but in the system as an option. And then with the note that they'd have to contact our office for departmental consent to be enrolled. That's when we started getting a lot of emails. Common thing that students wanted to know how COVID, like what people were doing, were masks required where they were living. And so I think at this particular point in history, it was pretty cool to have that type of kind of international collaboration, just because this is something that we're all going through together.
Yeah.
So for students to be able to ask those questions. And our students, they had some questions that were related to the course content, but most of the time they just wanted to know, like, what is life like there? What do people do in their free time? Where do people travel on the weekends? Like, where do they go on holiday? Where do they, just a lot of different cool questions. I thought, it's nice that they were that interested and engaged in the people's lives. Keeping it informal, was something we want to do more in the future as well. Going back to the students' feedback, majority of the students said that they would definitely recommend the program to a friend. So I take that as kind of the highest compliment. I mean, yes, they had some feedback and things that they would have done differently, things that they wish they could have seen, but the fact that pretty much all of them were like, yeah, I definitely would.
Mhm.
On the sliding scale, like, the maximum, yes, for sure. I think that's a really good sign. Both of them said that they would do a virtual program again in the future. So once again, the fact that they're willing to try it again shows me that and they both said that they saw a lot of value in it. One kind of from the very beginning, kind of the first faculty I worked with, when weren't envisioning such a large group. I mean, he was pretty much immediately on board, and saw the value in it. And so we kind of started with working with him. But then in November, once the group started to get so big, that's when we added the second person. And initially she was a little more hesitant about virtual programming, but kind of stepped in to fill the need. And I think she was pleasantly surprised. Our office loves the idea, just because we do think it's a very accessible way to enable people to get out and see the world. So you don't have to pay for the cost of an airfare or hotel or worry about visas or anything like that. You don't, a lot of our students have outside commitments at home, maybe kids, to provide the opportunity like this that is, affordable and easy, but still kind of gives people that international perspective and adds that to the career that maybe otherwise they would never have. But I think need to work a little bit harder to sell that, idea, and maybe not sell it, like that way, but to make sure that people understand the value of it.